Wembley Stadium has been the setting for so many great sporting occasions. They call it the venue of legends. In a few hours, it'll be full to capacity for the latest chapter in the history of the FA Cup. And the whole footballing world will be joining us to see what happens when Everton take on Manchester United.
And Joe Royle ends up with the same team that played so well in the semi-final. And as he felt that was their best performance of the season, Trevor Brooking, that was not a surprising decision.
No, I think it's a great boost in confidence to the players who are starting the match. I suppose they know that you've got Ferguson and Amakachi there sitting on the wings. I think the two key people for me, of course, Parkinson and Horn do sort of harass the opposition and win the possession, but I think Graham Stewart, the number 8, just behind Rideout, will float around, and I think he was the man of the match in the semi-final against Spurs. And Anders Limpar, what mood is that gentleman in today? He can be so exciting on his day, and he, I think, will have to be influential if Everton are to score the goals they need.
And how is the Manchester United mood after the happenings of last Sunday? And the chance was there to hold on to their title, and they couldn't take it. The one decision that had to be made by Alec Ferguson, did he start with Ryan Giggs, who's been out since the semi-final replay, or did he put him on the bench? There is certainly a good argument for packing the midfield in the early stages and bringing on Giggs when a few legs may tire.
Well, of course, that was the tactic Alex Ferguson actually played at Goodison Park, well, back in February now, when in fact they went down 1-0. They tried to compete with that Everton midfield, and Keane, Button, Ince played very close together. Whether Keane will play wide right, we shall have to see as the game begins. But I do think then, if Manchester United want to play their natural game, they need to stretch Everton and not cramp together so as they can get their tackles in. And of course, Brian McClair just tucked in behind Mark Hughes, and they team up so impressively together.
Two old friends as captains. Just 10 years ago, they were in the same team playing for Norwich City here at Wembley in the League Cup final. Steve Bruce on the left, Dave Watson on the right, and Gerald Ashby from Worcester in the middle. But the substitutes today could be a key. Duncan Ferguson with his hands to his face, and Daniel Amakachi at the back with somebody he's trying to spot, and many will be trying to spot him, watching in Nigeria. And at what stage will we see Ryan Giggs? A young man who hasn't yet done himself justice at Wembley. The other substitute, Paul Scholes, and of course 2 substitute goalkeepers. Gerard Ashby, who was the 4th official last year, has refereed a Charity Shield in '93 between Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday. And it's only his 2nd game here at the age of 45. He's an administrative and finance manager with a chemical company. Neville Southall, resplendent in yellow, takes his place in the goal to our left. Internationals at both ends. Peter Schmeichel of Denmark. Southall, a survivor of '85, as indeed is Mark Hughes, who will be trying to win for a 4th time, and that would be a Wembley record. Paul Ince, key man in the side. Referee having a quiet walk. He too will have a few nerves, and he's not going to start it before the appointed hour. Conversation with Andy Hitchcliffe, everybody smiling at the start. Long may it continue.
Not very often that you get all the players line up 2 minutes before 3 o'clock. The proceedings beforehand obviously hurried through, caught everyone on the hop.
And there's a sad picture for them. There are no tickets. England manager at the back, behind Ken Bates, who was here with his club, Chelsea, 12 months ago. Losing, of course, to Manchester United. And I think we should say, bless you. Eric Cantona, who will stay, and rightly, to prove that he's a man to repay to Manchester United what he owes them. Andy Cole at the back there, he's cup-tied. Just played the one match for Newcastle in round 3. We're all set. The 114th FA Cup final, sponsored by Littlewoods Bulls. The first final will be sponsored. It's up and running. Hughes, Ince, Keane. Batter started wide of Keane. Neville Southall, like his opposite number, getting an early feed of the ball. It's been said of Neville Southall that he begins every game looking like he's just finished the previous one. But still a fine goalkeeper. One by Pallister. One by Watson. One by Bruce. Keane, aggressively and fairly claimed. Comes down to Hughes, who was aware of the earlier run by Butts. First attempt on goal, and Lee Sharp gets to his feet, having met Butts' cross.
Good positive opening, actually. It was a hanging cross. He just couldn't get above it and knob it down, but good move, and they picked up one or two of the early loose balls, Manchester, and you see Butt there is going to, I think, occupy Andy Hinchcliffe on the left and Keane alongside Ince.
Parkinson. Keane. Hughes. Three have taken attacking positions, slightly away from McClare. Sharp. Owen is free on the left side. Watson gets the clearance in, and here's Limpar, and it's a 4-on-2 break. Stewart wants it to the left, Jackson wants it to the right, Rideout wants it down the middle. Still Matt Jackson. Oh, off the crossbar and out from Stewart, and then in. Rideout. And the debate goes on between captain and goalkeeper. But they got so terribly outnumbered. Limpar had so many options. The only danger was that he wasn't going to pick the right one. It worked out in the end. Jackson played it across. Stewart off the underside of the crossbar, clearly stayed out, and Rideout just had to meet it to give Everton the lead.
Well, this is a relief player, Graham Stewart, because he should have scored. Bounced down, not over the line, and Paul Rideout did very well. Jumped, kept it down, and, well, I'm just so amazed that Manchester United were caught 4 against 2 defensively, weren't they? And credit to Everton, having soaked up all the pressure, they made the most of those extra players.
Schmeichel will take, waves everyone out of the way. One last shout. Looks for Pallister. Hughes, blocked by Watson. He's been everywhere, Dave Watson. They're leaving it to Neville for the long throw. Little bit of a push. Stewart away by Jackson. Here's Schmeichel. Wonderful finish. But it could be very hard to take for Manchester United. Here comes Southall. Almost came too far. Put up an arm and it rolled down it and stayed almost in the pit. stoppage time being played. They can't wait to celebrate. The Manchester United supporters just hope the final whistle will not be heard. Here's Giggs. He's got to run a lot of blues. And he's going to get a corner. Up he comes again as Alec Ferguson looks at his watch. The man in green to challenge the man in yellow. Delivered in. Neville. Amakechi might score. He might score. Schmeichel is not going to get back. He's still in the centre circle. Still Amakechi, but they've now got two back. And he's just strolling back. I don't believe it. The cup goes to Goodison Park. Everton's fifth success, and how well led by the number 5. Third time lucky for Joe Royle against Alec Ferguson. The team that were battling to avoid relegation didn't win a match in the Premiership until the 1st of November. Had only 8 points out of 42 when Joe Royle took over as manager. Have survived and have won the cup. And Manchester United have ended with nothing. It's Joe Royle's day. They still look stunned and they still look delighted. Pallister sportingly goes to the opposition manager. And there are tears at the Manchester United end, while at the Everton end the celebrations go on. Joe Royle wanting to make sure that he can find a word for everyone. And here, Dave Watson, the captain.
And he's my man of the match, actually. I thought he was superb throughout the 90 minutes. Neville Southall made 2 or 3 vital saves, but for the consistency of always getting the foot in or just getting his head to the vital cross, I thought Dave Watson, and no player, I think, for Everton probably deserves the plaudit because he's been a wonderful servant for the club.
Peter Schmeichel beaten once, and it counted for everything. Steve Bruce, the unlucky opposition captain who had to go off. Good sporting reaction from the supporters of Manchester United, who sing, "You'll always look on the bright side of life." Even in defeat, they will dance and sing, but they don't at the moment. Paul Rideout, the scorer of the only goal that has won for Everton the 50th FA Cup final since the war. First success since 1984, a decade in which they came 5 times. And they came 4 times here and won only the once. But this time they got revenge for that defeat in 1985. Neville Southall. The doubts really just disappeared as the season went on, and he played so well. And 10 years after, he climbed the steps to pick up the League Cup. Dave Watson picks up in a moment the FA Cup, sponsored by Little Woods Pools. He follows Dixie Dean, Brian LeBone and Kevin Ratcliffe as a winning Everton captain at Wembley. Prince of Wales hands the cup, which he shows to the fans of Everton. whose season has been turned round. And it means the city of Liverpool will go. Look at the disappointed, it would seem, face of young Prince Harry. His team will come again, that's for sure. Barry Horn, Matt Jackson. There's always somebody with a cap. It's the Swede, Anders Limpar. Joe Parkinson. David Unsworth. He was like that all afternoon with Mark Hughes. Scorer of the only goal, McCatchy, able to get his chance afterwards. So did Duncan Ferguson. Substitute goalkeeper Jason Curtin and Gary Ablett, and the winning manager. Why did they wait so long to let managers come up? They deserve it. Means that the city of Liverpool will have two sides in Europe next season. And that hasn't happened for a decade. Nice reaction, Mr. and Mrs. Sir and Lady Bobby Charlton and Joe Royle. Good reaction all around the ground. And the season which has had so many problems, the contest was well fought, and the spectators have reacted in sporting fashion. It's been a good finale to the club season. Captured for posterity the moment that Everton won the cup. A little variation. Everton, because their supporters are at that end, obviously go to them first. So often, as Stuart Barlow didn't get into the side, so often the lap of honour has been round the other way. Team photograph as the losing skipper and the young Welshman make their way from the pitch. Alec Ferguson said experience teaches you to be philosophical, and he's applauded by and applauds in turn the Everton supporters as he walks away. For so long they'd seemed certainties to lose their place in the top echelons, and instead they now have a basis to rebuild Goodison Park. The FA Cup is an awfully good way to start. And he wants to go on into his 40s, and on that sort of form, who can blame him? Came into this match with 4 wins against each other each in the FA Cup. Everton now ahead. Mass ranks of photographers wanting to capture the moments of triumph. And there's the biggest smile at Wembley. Joe Royle. It's a lovely moment, and here, what a contrast. His departure has seen Manchester United end with nothing except the runner-up position. Schmeichel leaves the scene. Neville Southall in no hurry. So now they go to the other end, where the Manchester United supporters have taken their leave early. Bitterly disappointing end to the season for team. The Premiership trophy on loan to Blackburn, they say, and presumably they would add to that the FA Cup to Everton. But the day was a blue day in two senses. Success for the blue team of the city of Liverpool, disappointment for the red team of the city of Manchester. Dave Watson still with plenty of running in his legs. I don't think anybody would question your choice, Trevor, as man of the match.
No, he's been such a consistent player, hasn't he, for several seasons. Very strong, combative. He's helped the younger players around him, particularly David Unsworth. And well, I think you can see the passion and, you know, just the excitement of the occasion for him. And thoroughly deserved, I think, the man of the match. There were some other good individuals. I think Neville Southall, wonderful occasion for him so late in his career to be so instrumental in their victory as well, with the saves that he made. But I think also, of course, they'll be into Europe, won't they, those supporters? European Cup Winners' Cup. And I suppose spare a thought for poor old Newcastle, because it means Manchester United will go into the UEFA Cup and Newcastle will miss out on Europe next season.
That's what it means to be the holder of a priceless medal. A winner's medal in the FA Cup. That one belongs to Anders Limpar. And I just wonder whether Neville Southall might be persuaded to stay and join the celebrations. Certainly, he played his part in a victory for Everton by a single goal by Paul Rideout in the 30th minute. Oh dear, there's a danger the paint will run. Blue Nose departs. So pleased to have got his chance after coming back from a double hernia operation. Well, presumably his top half supports Everton. Just don't want to leave the pitch, and who can blame them? It's a very special moment to win the FA Cup, to go to the final, to be part of the party, whatever your role. It's something to be enjoyed, but if you lose, there is very little consolation. The losers were Manchester United. The winners, Everton, led by Joe Royle, from apparent disaster in the end to triumph at Wembley.
Well, they did the double last year. Double blank this year, I'm afraid, but that's football, that's life. Cheerio.
Watson gets the clearance in, and here's Limpar, and it's a 4-on-2 break. Stewart wants it to the left, Jackson wants it to the right, Rideout wants it down the middle. Still Matt Jackson. Oh, off the crossbar and out from Stewart, and then in. Rideout. Here's Giggs. 2-8 on the penalty spot. Teaser Giggs, beautifully done. Off Watson. McClare! Off the crossbar, may have been pushed up onto it. Giggs. McClare's gone one way, and it's played through to Scholes! Good stop, Scholes again, and another stop. Oh, he could have been the instant hero. Scholes. Oh, wonderful claim from Pallister. The cup goes to Goodison Park.